Hi. I don't know if this is gonna work. We're gonna do our best. I don't know who this is for. Guess we'll find out later. This was an old forest. And then nature came and took away the old growth. 9 of Pentacles. And now it's growing back new growth. It's not always pretty when you first open it up. But it lets a lot of light in, which is needed, you know, and all the strong ones, the ones that are meant to be there, stay solid. Let's just talk about this 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, let's talk about this 9 of Pentacles for a second. Let me know if there's any bears behind me. You want to just take a moment of silence to, oh, hello, Wormy. Those of you who feel really strong right now, I want you to realize that that strength is greatly appreciated in the world. And those of you who are grieving or in a tough spot, I want you to know that you also have great strength in that. But as we take this moment of silence, I want you to, all of you, to feel surrounded by that. Okay? You know, man always tries to push against nature, don't we? Like what is or what could be. We push it a lot. There's a lot of things we can create. But there's a level to everything, right? Like the 9 can only go to the 9. And then it goes to the 10, which really just loops back to the 1. So 9 of Pentacles is a person, it's an energy of a person who is very in tune with nature. With their own nature, with the nature of that which is around them. They're beautiful inside and out because they see the beauty in what is within them and outside of them, whether they're within something or without something. They understand that it takes a really long time to grow. To become something else, right? Like this forest. This forest, you know, you think, oh, if there were a bunch of trees, like more trees, but it's like if there are more trees, then there's actually less light. Sometimes the more we have, the less light there is. And there always comes these cycles where you have to open up, make space. You know, take away the thing that's dead. Take away the things that are dead, right? The things that are weak or that which cannot sustain. And, you know, sometimes, or just that which is ready, like it's come to its right, things reach a 9, this full cycle, and then it comes back around, right? Because if the 10 tries to stay a 10 and not realize that a 10 is a 1, then it becomes too heavy, you know. Trying to stand up the falling tree is not worth it. It's more about understanding the cycle that tree will replenish and restore and re-nourish the land that had just given them all this life, right? So I guess this Nine of Pentacles is very aware of this concept, or it's a concept that wants to be considered. Because this is a very individual process, too. Like a Nine of Pentacles understands what it can do in and of itself, in that which it is receiving life and nourishment from, in a physical way, as well as like all these other expressions. But also understands the natural cycles of things. Again, I see the emphasis of like working with one's own nature and then understanding the nature of others or that which they are connected to. Hold on. Let's see the next card. The woods must be important some way. There's a lot of moss around here too. So the north. Right, moss can only grow in the dark actually, like where it's darker. Six of Cups. So someone in a way is wishing for something. I'm also seeing this Nine of Pentacles as like something that's outside of you, that's like watching over you. For some, this could be like a person that has passed, or like a nature spirit, like some kind of spirit of something that comes through nature. Well, I guess remember wherever you are, there's a lot of time that has been put in there. Yes. There has been a lot of time, and there's been something that's happening that's like really slow, I heard, and really beautiful. All of these show great patience as well. So the Nine of Pentacles, see, when it kicks up into the 10, and it does, it becomes 1 again. Right? Something becomes 1 again. Could also be like, This has to do with time again. Something about time. Knight of Cups. This Knight of Cups, there were 2 nights in Aries reading for August. But now instead of just coming together, like meeting in the middle as if they were in different places, it's where people are on the same path going the same way. But I suppose a person has to get a bit out of their comfort zone to be able to come across what it is that they're really wanting emotionally, because now, some way, somehow, the physical world is actually solid. There's something more solid about who a person is or where they are, and therefore, again, opens up into this different emotional connection with others, which helps. Whether, I don't know if this is just help on where to go. But what's interesting is we have this earth and this water, and then we have this earth and this water, and they each have their own horse. So some of you are going to also come across the person, maybe from the past, or a person's been thinking about the past in a way that's helping them feel more steady so that they can move forward and or let go, depending on where you're at. It could be, I heard, simultaneously happening. But now things are moving in the same direction, and people understand, again, their own nature and what that looks like and how that works. Thank you. Absolutely. Then they come across another character. And maybe a part of it is that some folks were dealing with natures, like part of their nature that was like not conducive. It was like muddy, or someone kept getting, they were stuck in a mud or something. They were stuck in the mud. And they needed 4-wheel drive to get out of it, so I guess this means in a way that you needed all 4 elements, right, to be functioning like at the same time and not going against the grain, right? When you're stuck, if one tire's spinning, you can't just hit the gas to get out of it, right? You got to put something solid underneath it. If there's too much water, you need earth, right? Now, as this moves along, I actually see that someone comes, like maybe they change their nature in a way, because it goes earth, water, and then that becomes something that's really creative, and this is where then the water is meeting in the middle. Meaning, I heard love's becoming something that's lighter or brighter. It's more, these two are such genuine love, you know? There's also someone who's like a little bit younger than you that's really significant. Someone from your past. I heard that you're supposed to leave alone, or you can't go towards anymore. That you wanna look at that in a, like, as if it's like the tree that falls down when the wind blows too hard. Whether that's because it was weak or sick or it just finished its cycle, whatever it is. Again, there's an acceptance energy. I heard it doesn't matter what happened before. It's about why, it's about where you are now. Because it doesn't really matter. The past, shoulda, coulda, wouldas don't get us anywhere, right? Worry is like a rocking chair. It doesn't get us from here to there. Neither does shame. But that isn't what's happening here. That was just something that needed to be mentioned in ways of whatever we were talking about in the past. If there is some kind of energy from the past that you feel like you want to connect to that you didn't have an opportunity to, then write it down, say it to yourself, talk to the trees, put it out in the wind. Remember, grandfather's spirit, right? Absolutely. Now we have a king and a queen. So many people here, just like Aries energy. All these people gathered together. Now we have earth, water, fire, and air. See, now, whatever we just talked about there, I heard the whole thing. Now we have all four elements, which actually create a new space to be, to love, to interact with. And actually, whatever this Nine of Pentacles energy is that was feeling really solo or separated, even though Nine of Pentacles as friends is comfortable, whatever, but it's like, again, this person took a long time to sit with themselves. Now, this could also be particularly if you are literally single. It's like, please, this energy wants you to step forward, because you may be quite impressed with all the awesome people that are absolutely meant to be around you. And even for some of you, this could be something where, like, the relationships that you are looking for, the kind of relationship or relationships you are looking for, something was halting some of you to help you to stop and think about who you really are and how awesome you are, how beautiful you are, how handsome you are, how talented you are. To look at your nature and love the parts of you that are good, and let go of the parts of your nature that were ingrained from some old time that's blocking you from the connections that you want. There's also something that's important here, to not have any judgment about the way people believe or perceive, like, spirit to be. But the basis of morals in a relationship, or the way, again, someone does view, like, faith in their heart, faith in themselves, in love, that you want to make sure has been settled. I feel like that more has to do with the past. Because actually, there's two paths here. One goes to the past, which stays in kind of this night energy, which kicks down into the page, which is like childhood energy, which some folks, I guess, have to work through or are working through. The other path is where a person has done all that, looped back around the serpentine, ended at this Nine of Pentacles. Now faith is leading them, which brings them to a king and a queen, which all of us here are adults, right? That's the energy we should be in, as kings and queens, right? Not that we can't have the fun, youthful energy of pages and knights, but if we're talking about relationships, I mean, I guess you got to build, Page is creative and open, it's learning about that. It's discovering that there's even an opportunity to learn with something. Knight then starts to use that element. Queen embodies it internally. King expresses it externally. And then all the wheels again start moving. There's the queen now. Maybe some of you are closing out something with your mother or with females that also are significant. It could be cycles. It could also be something emotional in you where you're starting to trust yourself more now in the world, right? It reminds me of that reading we did where it's like, I trust you, right? We have to trust ourselves and who it is that we are to be able to trust other people, right? And what is appropriate when. Aries talked a lot about this at the end of their reading, where it's the discussion of strengths of people, right? Again, people's nature. Gemini talked about this too a while back. Yes, go Libra. It's like, when we're talking about relationships, we have to look at the fact that everyone has different strengths. Everyone has a different nature. Everyone's a different kind of animal, and then depending on how they're feeling or what they've been doing, it's going to shift it, their patterns. And I guess when that happens, then all there is success in our relationships and wherever it is that one is going. So don't worry about it. No, don't worry about it. In those places where either you don't feel good about where you've been or the tree that has fallen or what have you, well, or that say in the past, like, you cut it down, you cut it off, it was cut off. It's like, it all, I know it's hard to accept, but like everything happens for a reason, whether it goes or whether it slows. I guess it's coming to find the happiness in it, you know. And you know, I'm sorry I'm not smiling a lot in this one as I have in some of them. Sometimes the readings just feel more serious, but I also had one of the oldest relationships. A buddy of mine, I found out, passed today, and it's kind of interesting because last night I did Aries and that bird landed in the house, and that sparrow, sorry mosquito, and that's all about changing of the guard, you know. You want to see the forest? 2112. So this is what a new forest looks like when it's coming back. You know, it seems sparse at first, but it all fill back in, and it's giving an opportunity for new trees to grow, right? These are all new pines. Oh, somebody's coming and I'm a ninja. Just a second. How beautiful the moss is, too. Hold on. See this big boy? That which should stay, stays. That which falls, it's just meant to become, again, whatever it was. That, see how beautiful it is? It just becomes whatever fed it. You know, we become whatever we go back into and become whatever we feed from or allow ourselves to be nourished by. So also don't ever be afraid whenever it feels a little empty or